Hello, everybody, Anime Reflux. So this one was this like a Netflix show?
It
That's
was
what it
on.
said at the start.
Yeah, it was on
Honestly,
Netflix.
Yeah,
At
honestly,
least, at least it was on Netflix. Yeah.
it said Netflix original series at the start. Honestly, I should have gathered then, right at the outset, that it was going to have at least some measure of quality to it. Honestly, this wasn't half as good as Plastic Memories, but I liked it. Not something that I would have looked into otherwise, but I liked what I saw.
yeah. I mean, I'll get into my thoughts on it as we go through. But yeah, if there's one thing Netflix generally are good about is they put some money behind their shows more often than not.
You can taste the money
Money
with your
tastes
eyes.
money tastes disgusting though. Like in all
It really
forms.
does. Like, it doesn't really matter whether it's coins or notes. It's just always bad.
Well, I heard that some people used to use chocolate seeds as money.
I don't know if that's delicious either. But pennies definitely do not taste good.
Yeah, I do remember the. Let's not get into a tangent about the different varieties of tasty money and not so tasty money.
Lick your Breath of the Wild cartridge. Do it, you coward.
All right.
I don't have a cartridge. I bought that shit online. So, Violet Evergarden is an anime that was apparently commissioned by Netflix. That ran in the winter season of this past year, which is very recent. And it's a story of a girl who
Cried a river and drowned the whole world.
someone got it, yay. Yeah, that yeah, she's a military veteran of some stripe where she is basically considered a weapon before she's considered a person. But the war is now over that was happening in basically World War One kind of thing. And she is in rehabilitation and wondering where her commanding officer went, who, through the course of the episode, we find out probably dead.
Definitely dead.
Yeah.
Pretty dead.
My dad. I mean, we get nothing but. Yeah. It's never confirmed throughout the episode, but the fact that they keep changing the subject every single time it comes up. If he's not dead, we'll be surprised at this point.
Yeah, I think the very first mention of him, Lieutenant Colonel puts his hand in his pocket, and then his hand becomes fists in his pockets.
He's not a lieutenant colonel, he's just a lieutenant, but yes.
Yeah, but yeah, he got lieutenant major. I don't know exactly what his rank was.
He's a lieutenant. Her former CO that is possibly dead was a major.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the lieutenant is just like, looking at like close up on those hopeful eyes. It's just like, he's fine. Mm-hmm.
Sure, he just wanted me to look after you. Mm-hmm.
Which, given what we see about her in this episode, at least what I saw of it, that information would probably just shatter her.
Yep.
And I mean, what we get at first, the first glimpse of these characters, the opening scene is a quick cut of the Major and the protagonist, Violet, just walking down a civilian street. Violet stops as she sees, what was it, an emerald brooch?
Yeah, an emerald brooch, yeah.
That was the same color as the Major's eyes. Something like...
And she wanted to know what that emotion she felt was when she saw the brooch. Because she didn't understand it. Yeah, they're very much pushing the inhuman angle on this one, which I'm not a fan of for reason. the show seems to be taking a particular bent at the beginning. Like, she's in a hospital, she's going through rehabilitation. She is very insistent on getting back to the war that people keep telling her is over. And I got the impression during that part of the show that this was going for a military veteran kind of coming back to civilization vibe. And I was all in for that. That intrigued
That's
me
the
a
vibe
lot.
that I've been getting because I never got to finish it.
Yeah, it takes a swerve towards the end of the episode, and it's actually kind of disappointed me in that sense. But yeah, so the she's very concerned when she leaves the hospital because she gets her belongings and the brooch is missing, and she really doesn't want to go anywhere without it. And the lieutenant is insistent. I'll find it. I'll go to the base at some point and find it and see what happened to it. So he takes her to the Evergarden estate, which is supposedly family of the Major, who are willing to take care of her. Because that was what the Major apparently wanted, was for her to go to them and live her life, kind of thing.
Yeah, from my understanding is she was like orphan who got sucked up into the war, doesn't really have anybody else, and Major wanted to take care of after he was gone.
So the Evergardens are basically a little old lady who's quite well-to-do, and they have tea, and Violet has problems with the tea because rehabilitation, it's not the easiest thing, and the Lady Evergarden is like, okay, you don't have to force yourself or anything. And Violet spills the tea on her hand, and she's like, no, it's fine, don't worry about it. Undoes the bandages, and she basically has automail arms.
Can't burn your hands when you have metal hands.
She lost her arms in the war, and as a result has these arms which don't work quite as well. She's not used to working with them. Yeah.
And the older lady gives her gloves, which is a very nice gesture. It's like, here you go. You can have those so people don't give you crap, basically, because that's a thing that would happen. So, then what happened? The lieutenant is trying to leave and wants to leave her there. And she's like, no, I want to war, fighting. I need a purpose. I'm the Major's tool.
Why did the Major send me here? I don't understand.
Yeah. And so, for the sake of giving her a purpose, the lieutenant takes her to his new workplace, which is a post office kind of thing. Like, it's not a publicly run one, it's a private company that does mail. And,
Okay.
Yep. I'm assuming this is where Zero lost what was going on.
My whole thing, I'm kind of watching in the background a bit just so I can get up to speed, but that's just up to where I got to. Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, so he puts her to work in the post office, and there is a mail delivery boy who is kind of not really an asshole, but just kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy.
I don't think he's an asshole. I just think he's direct.
Yeah. He's very blunt.
And he gets back a long way with the lieutenant. Old friends, apparently.
Yeah. So he says, okay, just sort the mail into the different cubbies so that we can deliver it later. It's a big pile, so don't rush. It's like, we'll go through it, and it'll refill, and we'll go through it again, kind of thing. It's a never-ending thing, so don't really worry too much about getting all of it done. Cue, smash cut to later that night when she has gotten all of it done. And he's like, okay, I guess we'll have to see about you maybe trying delivering mail. And then he leaves. And then the lieutenant sees someone delivering mail at night, and he's like, oh,
He's like, huh, man, I wish our company could do that.
yeah,
They're way ahead of us.
way too
And then
expensive.
and then he sees the insignia on the side of it is his company. So of course he has to jump off the train stop.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
So he goes back to the office and apparently at some point gets hold of the delivery boy. And they're basically like, yeah, you didn't have to. I didn't mean now. You could have. Let's go get dinner.
She's kind of a workaholic, from my understanding.
Like,
seems like she just needs to be doing something to feel useful or something.
Like this, like I say, this very much still seemed like it was a thing that was geared towards this is, wartime veterans are constantly feel the need to be doing something because you need to be doing something constantly.
Yeah, in the army, you got to keep working, and having downtime is not something I think she's used to at all.
Yeah, so I was still really into this up to this point.
So what happened? What changed you on this?
Right. So there is the last segment of this episode where she gets approached by someone who visits the house, and she's like, hey, this dude is like, hey, could you maybe write a letter for me? She's like, okay, sure. Ends up not doing it for something. This was a little bit weird, and I'm not quite sure I followed how the scene was going, but someone else ends up doing it, writing the letter for him to a woman who was she's going to be getting married, and he wants to confess his love to her before that happens. Just wants to express his feelings. And so he gets taken to a service that does that, which is called what was it called? Auto Memories Dolls?
Auto Memory Doll?
Yeah. Which is a very strange name for a company that basically takes down dictation. But sure.
It's Japan.
Yeah, I guess.
These are the names they come up with.
So another woman takes down his letter and adds "I love you" at the end. He didn't say it, but she added it at the end, and he was okay with that being in the letter. And Violet, who is watching, is very confused how this woman knew that he wanted to say "I love you." And realizes, oh yeah, that was the last thing that the Major said to me. I want to know what that means. And so I want to be an auto memory doll. And because this is the first thing that the lieutenant has heard her actually say she wants to do and not give me something to do, he says, okay, sure, go ahead.
So
should note that we
yeah.
Should note that we cut at that point to the last scene with Violet and the Major, with both of them in a bloody mess.
Her arm falls off.
Yeah, she rips off one of her arms because it's just in the way, so she can try and carry him with her teeth, which... Yeah, he rightly stops her from doing that because there was no way that was going to work. Because he wants to get what he wants to say off his chest. At which point he tells her he loves her. And that he wants her to live a happy life or something along those lines.
So, from reading the summary, there's a line, come face to face with various people's emotions and different shapes of love, all while searching for the meaning of those words. So it seems like from here on it's going to take more of an anthology type of perspective. comfortable having the overarching story with her.
Yeah, it feels like at the beginning it was going to be a story about the trauma of coming back to civilization after facing war, and at this point it turns into, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
I feel like you can still have elements in that in later episodes. I feel like you're writing it off too quickly.
I agree. It does seem
Maybe.
like a healthy mix between the two.
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess. But
I mean, trauma doesn't go away.
I know we always do the first episode, but this is something where I feel like I would have to see more of it before I could actually make that judgment.
yeah, that's fair.
Because if you're right and it just turns into that, fair cop. But if it turns out that there's a lot more to it,
Sorry. It's just very strange hearing you say that.
but if it turns out there's much more to it, and that it manages to deliver on all fronts, which, given that this got good reviews and apparently the written version is actually really good and won awards, it might be able to pull it off. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
That's fair.
Yeah. I am not sure if I'll watch more of this show, but I might. It's intriguing to me.
It's very pretty.
Yes, actually.
The dub's very good as well. I don't know whether to call it the dub because it's a Netflix show. So
Does she deadpan and dub?
yes,
Okay, that's what I expected.
she's very evocative when talking about the Major, but that's about it. Yeah. Ken, any last thoughts?
Okay.
It was okay. I don't think I'm gonna watch any more of it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. Didn't enthrall me.
For me, I can see why people would really like this. I might go watch more of it later, but I don't feel like it necessarily need to, But I'd be interested to see where this goes.
Well,
Time to roll.
indeed.
All right. Okay. Get the list up. Let's do this.
I've got the list here, of course.
Alrighty. So, 26, we get 16.
16, I'm quite optimistic about this. We've gotten some of our better shows from P.
I don't remember anything.
55.
All right. Oh, come on, no whammies. Give me something good. Give me something to sink my teeth into this week. And we get 44.
44. All right. This week's winner is called Prism Arc.
Prism
Arc. Okay, there we go. I got it. All right. Oh Christ, there's a pronunciation. The Sablum Empire has been attempting to take over the kingdom of Windland for many years and are now plotting with the mercenaries Sister Hell and Darkness Knight to start a new Japanese names, I swear, to start a new offensive using powerful beings called angels, because of course. Yahweh, a careless yet talented swordsman, and Priashia.
Come on, sound it out. Just like you were taught in school.
That's what it did. Who just might be the lost princess of Windland, are enrolled at the Knights Academy in Windland to hone their skills in swords and sorcery. There they meet many friends and allies who can help them protect their homeland from the impending invasion. Yahweh? Really? Really? That's what you're naming a character? I thought Yoch was too much of a thing in fucking Bleach.
So, what I'm understanding here is this is what we call a magic anime school anime. Like so many others.
Only they named the main character literally God.
God Jesus. I'm gonna call him that. Next week when we're reviewing this, I'm gonna call him God Jesus.
You say that as though it's inevitable.
The Mercenary Sister Hell and Darkness Knight.
I mean, if there's a group veto on the table, I want it.
And
But-
you've still got all of our regular vetoes.
I'm not using that.
Windland.
Are you kidding me? I'm not using that on this.
Windland.
This is gonna be. I feel like this is gonna be trash.
They
But
couldn't do
trash.
anything like, something more interesting, but they just went with Windland.
Pretty sure I can laugh at this.
I understand most kingdoms and fantasy anime have like some sort of wind association, but they just straight up called it Windland.
Well, what are we doing? I'm not using my veto, but I'll submit my vote for a group veto.
I want to see what they do with the character of God. I mean, Yahweh. I want to see where that goes.
You know what? You know the H is probably silent, right?
Prism Arc is a Japanese erotic video game, and the sequel of Prism Heart, developed by Pajamasoft.
Patient's not ready for this.
Its first release was in August 25th, 2006. This work contains adult-only content of a sexual nature. An anime entitled Prism Arc began airing on October 8th, 2007.
Does not have an ecchi tag.
It does not.
Doesn't have any NSFW tags, just action, comedy, drama, fantasy, magic, and the cover art looks innocuous as well. I'm going to take the risk,
Yeah,
unless,
you
of
are.
course, you guys want to submit for a group veto.
Nope. I'm curious.
Yeah, Casey already killed that.
I found a picture from Prism Arc, so I'm going to just say, you know what, let's just do this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, the H is absolutely not silent because Yahweh doesn't have an H at the beginning. So they added that shit. You say that shit. That's how that works.
I'd like to think they would make it silent, but
Prism Arc is a PS2 game, Prism Arc Awake. There's another Prism Arc Love Maximum.
I don't care, Zero.
Looks like Zero's going to have a lot of fun with this one.
He's going down a bit of a rabbit hole.
This is what I do every time we find a new anime that has something else to it. I'm like,
That has
how
something
deep does this
stupid to
hole-
it is what he really
How-
meant there, but yeah.
Yes. How deep does this stupid hole go?
Well, it has to be one of those because it's not a rabbit hole. That was Pet Shop before.
I've seen the mailman.
Prism Arc. We're doing Prism Arc next week. Bye, everybody.
If it makes you feel better, this Yahweh person, I believe, has white hair and red eyes.
So from now on, gentlemen and audience, you will be referring to me as Yahweh. That is my name from now on.
Did you change your
Yahweh.
name? Change his name, didn't you?
No, wait. Flux Yahweh.
No, just
Flyway.
Goodbye, everyone.
God, this is so stupid.